Tron Legacy is an underrated classic.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I know. Take away my cinephile card and send me to Marvel jail, but hear me out. Everyone agrees this movie looks incredible. Well, mostly. The de-aging hasn't aged great.
We're always on the same team.
But come on, the visual style oozes cool. It's uniquely stunning. Beyond the visuals, the soundtrack by Daft Punk is stacked full of non-stop bangers. However, many would critique Legacy for having a lackluster story. Critiques range anywhere from uninteresting all the way to convoluted. And yeah, there's some legitimate gruff here. The premise is wild and breaks down pretty fast if you think about it with even a little bit of scrutiny. People go into a computer and interact with sentient programs that aren't really alive, but they kind of act like they are, and then they have to physically fight their way out. It's ridiculous, but that setup came from the original Tron, and I would argue that Tron Legacy actually makes the most of the ridiculous premise it inherited. If you can suspend your disbelief about the premise, there's actually a pretty great story that delves into a criminally underexplored message. I'm Willie. Come along with me as we muse into the void. Today we're digging into the message of Tron Legacy. Spoilers ahead, so if you've been sleeping on this movie for the past 15 years, you have been warned. Oh, and Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid will be spoiled in this video too. When it comes to the story, Tron Legacy actually offers a mature and nuanced approach to how it handles one of its core messages. A message that says to be our best selves, the young need to learn from the old, and the old need to learn from the young. So often, fiction creates a narrative that shows one good way to respond to a challenge, but many times, slight tweaks to scenarios change how we should respond to them. I promise we'll get to Tron Legacy, but to talk about Tron, first, as you might expect, we have to talk about The Little Mermaid. Within the narrative of The Little Mermaid, the message is good. It's about Ariel breaking free from her dad's archaic and harmful rules regarding the dangers of humans. The lesson taught is to challenge authority and to follow your gut even when there is great risk. Ariel doesn't go about it in the best way, but the movie is clear. Ariel is right. Some humans are good. In the end, her impulsive actions are seen as justified. But here's some questions. Is it always good to push against rules and authority? Is it always good to act impulsively? Sometimes decisively acting on our gut instinct will serve us well, and sometimes it would be better to take a slower, more calculated approach. The reason the message of The Little Mermaid lacks is not that it says to take risks for the sake of the things you want in life. It's that it doesn't equip people to understand when to take those risks. It's safe to say that Ariel actually took too much risk, even though the movie justifies it. Making a deal with an evil sea witch probably wasn't the best way to reach her goal. It's important that when we apply the lessons absorbed from movies to our own lives, it has to be done with discernment. And this is where Tron Legacy comes in. Let's start by talking about Sam. He's shown to be an act first, think later kind of guy. He's reckless, but good. In the opening act of the movie, he single-handedly executes an elaborate heist on the company his missing father founded. A company that's now become a large, soulless tech giant, and that he's the majority stakeholder of. He steals the new operating system and then releases it for free, just like his father would have wanted.
The idea of sharing our software or giving it away for free disappeared with Kevin Flynn.
Sam writes this off as a prank, but his dad's friend Alan sees that there's more to it than that. He sees that Sam is someone who has good principles, but just isn't ready to take responsibility for them yet. As the majority stakeholder, Sam has the authority to take over the company anytime he wants. But instead of making lasting change through the long, slow approach, he decisively takes reckless action and only makes a temporary impact. A pattern that continues throughout the film time and time again, as Sam is shown to take quick, impulsive action.
Yeah. I'm out.
Command 3, victory.
And then, on the other hand, you have Kevin. He is shown to face challenges with a more slow and calculated approach.
Do you know it? His patience usually beats out my more aggressive strategy.
He would rather take no action than put himself in a position where he might not come out on top. This is clearly seen by his choice to hide for so many years rather than to stand up to Clue and fight. He tried that, it didn't work, so he waited. He would rather protect what he has than risk it to gain something more. Here you have two approaches of how to face adversity. A stereotypical younger way of thinking and an older one. These two ways of approaching problems are not inherently wrong, and where Legacy shines is that it doesn't claim that either of them is right or wrong. It shows that real strength comes when generations work together, each bringing their own strengths to the table. Some situations need Sam's brash and quick action, whereas others need Kevin's more slow and calculated approach. And the amazing thing about this movie is that it does this organically. It doesn't beat you over the head with its message, it just shows you. When Sam and Kevin are discussing whether to push towards the portal leading home or wait in safety so as to not risk Clue getting to the other side, Sam wants to push right away, to go for the exit, and Kevin wants to wait, not risking anything. And the ultimate tragedy is that they actually were both right. They did need to act decisively to have a chance to get out, but it was also risky. So risky, in fact, that in the end, Kevin needed to sacrifice himself in order for them to succeed. This shows so beautifully a complicated message that the young need to be held back at times by the calculated restraint that often comes with age. But, likewise, the old, at times, need to be pushed to act rather than taking no risk. We need each other. So despite the constant barrage of intergenerational beef we are often fed, it would be good for us to pay attention to Tron Legacy and see that we can learn from each other if we can be humble enough to respect one another. And respect is key here. There's a scene that seems unimportant at first, but is actually a focal point that shows how Sam and Kevin's actions set them up to be in a place where they can respect one another. It takes two common intergenerational gripes and flips them on their head. In this critical scene, they are eating a quiet meal. There's a bit of awkwardness in the air. Sam is catching his dad up on his life and presents himself as what many older people would describe as, and trigger warning here for many of us younger folks, lazy. He's 28. He isn't working at his father's company, he dropped out of college, and he doesn't have a girlfriend. As Sam says these things, you can see that Kevin is taken aback, but he holds his tongue and doesn't condemn his son's life choices.
Wife, girlfriend.
Dog. Marvin. Rescue.
Well, dogs are cool.
Throughout the rest of the movie, he shows that he not only loves his son, but that he respects him too, mistakes and all. He admires the man Sam has become, despite Sam's lack of the typical markers of success. He sees that sometimes what looks like laziness is actually a part of growing up, a part of figuring out how to do life.
She risked herself for me.
Some things are worth the risk.
As the scene goes on, the awkwardness is broken as Kevin asks if Sam has any questions for him. Sam's resentment towards his dad for not being there as he grew up comes to a point as he asks, "Why didn't you come home?" Kevin explains how he was trapped by Clue and couldn't make it back. Throughout the rest of the film, he proves explicitly with words and actions that he wishes he had been there to raise Sam. And then something amazing happens. At the dinner, Sam holds his tongue. And throughout the rest of the movie, he grows to accept what Kevin said. Instead of holding it against his dad, he forgives his dad. He was hurt so deeply by Kevin not being there. And even though it was justified, it would be easy for Sam to hold on to those feelings of resentment, to hold on to that pain. But he doesn't. Tron's saying that some of our parents' mistakes were just them trying their best with the cards they were dealt. It's saying to show them grace. And Sam does, growing to respect and love his father again, despite all the pain he experienced by him not being there. This scene ties in so well with the core message, because generations can't learn from each other if we aren't able to empathize with the struggles that have made people older or younger than us who they are. Throughout the film, Sam watches his father's methodical approach and he pushes against it. But over time, he sees the need to wait and to not charge in all the time. He comes to respect his father's perspective and listens to him instead of rushing it. And similarly, Kevin disagrees with Sam's impulsive approach that says to act first and figure things out on the way. But ultimately, Kevin sees the need to take quick action too and fights alongside Sam. He doesn't condemn Sam for his impulsive nature. He sees how it can be good at times and actually respects Sam for it.
You ever jump a freight train?
Huh?
We do it your way. A full-on sprint to the portal.
There's often a big cultural push for generations to be at odds with one another. So much of the media pushes the narrative that the fill-in-the-blank generation is horrible for different reasons. From avocado toast to OK Boomer, we are bombarded with the notion that we are at odds with each other, that it's old versus young. And Tron Legacy dares to take the middle road and say, no, we actually need each other. We need to learn from each other if we want to be the best versions of ourselves. Pretty awesome for a movie with a supposedly bad story, huh? I hope there will be some people out there that actually like this movie like I do. But even if not, I hope you at least enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want more content like this. It helps out the channel so much. Thank you for watching, and remember, even if you're musing into the void, you're never truly alone. I'm Willie, and we'll check you later.